Hey guys, it's Nitro, and today I'm going to be asking the question if it's worth playing Hunter in the Shadowlands expansion, because I've been looking at a lot of the changes over the past few months in the beta and all that, and I've been playing the class itself for over a decade. To give some background, I've been raiding on and off since Wrath of the Lich King. That's when I first kind of started raiding. I started playing the game late Burning Crusade, and I was like a total noob, had no idea what I was doing. But in Wrath, specifically Icecrown Citadel is when I started playing, and that's my playtime right there, 143 days. So this has been my main for pretty much my whole WoW career. I've raided multiple expansions across as a hunter. I've done all the sort of different raids there are out there, or achieved multiple, like Cut an Edge. So I definitely know the ins and outs of the class, and today we're going to be asking, is this the class for you going into Shadowlands? Because it has a lot of different pros and cons. And right now, marksmanship looks pretty fun, actually. The video you're watching right now, I did not like this rotation whatsoever. I hated the focus generator, whatever that was called. Did not like the rotation. And I actually stopped playing Legion because I hated the legendary system. Like, I got, what was it, the necklace, and I think the ring. And both of those did not help your damage at all. They're both just like minor survivability traits. And then here, unfortunately, Blizzard gutted survival, and now that spec is a total joke. This footage is really old. It's like, I don't know, 10 years old or something. But this is Nefarian, and this is when survival was really good. This was the best spec to play back then, and it was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I had strong AoE, because every time you multi-shot, your Serpent Sting went on, and that damage activated immediately. I had strong cleave too, because Serpent Sting actually did a lot of damage back then. So if you had 2 targets, you could keep up your Serpent Sting uptime because it was refreshed during Cobra Shot. So definitely good damage overall, good AoE, good cleave, and pretty solid single target as well. It was a blast to play too. Just with the passive right here, I know on Nefarian you had careful aim, so we had the hunters in this fight just stick on Nefarian because we had like, I don't know, like 30% more damage on targets above 80% health or something like that. But yeah, survival is kind of a joke now, which really hurts the class going into Shadowlands, because you can only play 2 out of 3 specs unless you're doing like, really niche PvP. Survival's okay, but I have not touched survival since they changed it, and I'm probably never going to. So I think one of the best perks of the hunter class is its mobility, right? Because it's got disengage, it's got that passive which makes you move faster after disengage. It's always been known for its mobility. You can do your whole rotation while moving as Beast Mastery, and you can do most of your rotation while moving as a marksmanship hunter. The only thing you can't really cast while moving is aim shot. But other than that, this class is really good at doing damage and doing it while moving. That used to not be the case. I remember in Wrath of the Lich King, your auto shot did not work if you kept on moving. So there was like a time where you needed to cast your auto shot, and that's the case in Classic WoW as well. I actually really dislike that change. I think, the class was a lot harder to play while maintaining your auto shots and kind of keeping that balance, because auto shots actually, at least back then, did a large part of your damage. So that's a change I didn't like as well. But definitely mobility is one of the hunter's strong suits. It's probably the best class at doing damage while moving. And its damage, while not being the best across multiple expansions, I played it for a long time. It's never really top tier. It's never going to be number 1 on the charts, or at least it shouldn't be. If you're pugging or whatever, it's going to do well in raids. In dungeons, definitely it could be top tier. Like as you've seen in the past late part of Battle for Azeroth, Beast Mastery Hunter is actually really well in dungeons. It's a really, really good class for that. As far as PvP goes, I'm the wrong person to ask for PvP. This is an old clip of me going into Battlegrounds with decked out PvE gear. Back then, I have no idea how PvP is now. I don't play WoW for PvP, but back then you could go into a battleground with full PvE gear, like, you know, best in slot PvE gear, and just totally destroy people. But the thing is, you didn't have any resilience on your gear, so you were a glass cannon. But I had a blast regardless, and it was pretty fun. So yeah, like I was saying earlier, your damage is always pretty competitive. You're never gonna be at the top on raids, or at least historically, you've never been on top on the raids, but it's always competitive. You're always kind of in the middle of the pack damage. Sometimes you're a little higher, sometimes a little lower. But you're still always gonna really be wanted in the raids because of your utility. Hunters offer great utility with their traps, with their aspect of the turtle. They have like a soak they could do. So there's a lot of reasons groups want to bring hunters to a raid. There are various examples I can give you of when I couldn't do damage and I had to do some mechanic in the boss, which is fine. They're actually fun. Like, for example, during Wrath of the Lich King Heroic, the Shambling Horrors had to be trank shotted. So that was something we wanted the hunters to do because of trank shot, obviously. So that was another feature we had to do. And there's always something you need to soak or trap or something like that where you need to, you know, hit aspect of the cheetah, aspect of the turtle, and go soak like 5 things in the ground or something. Because that's always what hunters are going to be doing, really, in a raid. If there's a utility, hunters are one of the best at it. There are other classes as well, like rogues, maybe mages, but hunters are really kind of the best at that in terms of raid utility. Dungeons, it's not as much, you know, not as useful as other classes, but it's still pretty good. And for this last little bit, I'm going to be talking about the cons. So why not to play Hunter in the Shadowlands? Number one, its rotations for both of the specs, Beast Mastery and Marksmanship, are very simple. It's and honestly, they get boring. You know, playing Beast Mastery for months on end, it gets boring. It's not the most satisfying spec. I have not played Marksmanship since they like added Rapid Fire. I kind of just got back to the game recently, so but I know Beast Mastery, it gets boring. And I've been playing Marksmanship on the PTR, and it looks like it's really simple as well. They're not the hardest classes to play, but having said that, they're really easy to get into, but they're pretty hard to master. There's a lot of tips and tricks out there to kind of maximize Hunter's performance, and I can go over that in another video if you guys would like. So really, looking at the Shadowlands, it's really a decent contender for a main pick. I think Warlock is looking really good too. I've been playing Hunter for years and years, like over 10 years, and I'm really thinking about re-rolling Warlock, but we'll see. I do like Marksmanship. I think it's something new that I haven't personally played since they added like Rapid Fire and those changes, so I'm going to be probably sticking with the Hunter, but Warlock looks really strong right now. Destruction looks fun. Affliction, I don't know how I feel about the dot, you know, play style. I kind of like burst damage, like, you know, I like to see my big numbers immediately. That's why I like Hunter. It's all direct damage for the most part. So those are the kind of the reasons, the basic reasons if you should play Hunter and the Shadowlands expansion. All these things are, you know, subject to change. Blizzard is still working on finishing up the expansion. Right now, I think the Hunter, in terms of damage, is in a good spot. They're always, you know, tweaking these numbers and messing around with them. As for raids, they're always going to be good in raids, just because I said about the utility earlier. And that's kind of that. And this is my first YouTube video I'm actually, like, you know, really putting some time into. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, you know, let me know what you guys think if you want to see other videos. And yeah.